Hi, welcome to your Chido podcast, and today we're going to be talking about loving and embracing our uniqueness. I understand that everyone wants to belong. You want to belong to a certain class, you want to belong to a certain type of friends, and you want to belong to a certain society. But in the process of wanting to belong, you realize that you lose your identity in the process. But let me tell you something, that the moment you realize that we are not the same is the moment that you start realizing the value that you carry within. Because you being able to realize the value that you carry within, it will help you to start approaching life in such a way that you're supposed to approach it. And the conviction of the value that you carry and the person that you are will drive you to achieve great and massive things. The moment that you accept the fact that we are not the same, you will also stop comparing yourself to the next person. You will stop wanting to live the dream of another person and you begin to dream your own dream. I understand that people say, if I was like this person, I would have been living life this way. If I was born in such a nation, then my life would have been this way. Exactly what you're dreaming is what you're supposed to create for yourself, despite the environment that you are in. You need to accept the fact that you were not placed in that environment by accident, but there is something that you need to look into and begin to implement. If there is a gap that you're realizing, then you need to look into that gap and begin to see how best you can close it. So I understand that some people, they are driven from a position of inferiority complex, where they feel that other people are better than them. Hey, I'm here to tell you today that you need to embrace your uniqueness, because you are unique the way that you are, and you do not need to anybody else to tell you otherwise, or to come and tell you negative things to say you do not belong. It doesn't matter what color you are. There is a value that you add to the entire picture of creation. Let me tell you something that you might not have thought. A lion in its right, it has a value that it adds to the entire ecosystem of creation. An elephant in its right, it has got a value that it adds to the entire ecosystem of creation. The mouse, the ants, whatever you might think, in as far as it was created and it is part of the picture of creation, it has a value that it adds. This is the reason why you find that even when we're given illustrations, we take illustrations from animals. For example, we say that you need to be a person of vision and a person of strength, just like an eagle. Why? Because it has a value that it is actually adding to the entire ecosystem. When we look at the sun, we say you need to shine bright like the sun. What value is the sun giving to you? It is making you see where you're stepping on, and it is also giving you the energy that is necessary for you to be a human being that you are today. When we look at the trees, they are giving you oxygen, the oxygen that you need to survive. So everything that you see around you, everything that was created, including you, has a value that it ought to add to the entire picture of creation. So whenever you feel or you hear people say that, some people are more superior than others, that's so not true. Nobody is superior to another person. It's only that maybe others would have realized themselves earlier than others. They would have realized the value that they can add to the entire ecosystem than others. So what I am trying to tell you is that you need to start looking into yourself, because life comes from within. It does not come from outside. So when you take the pressures that are coming from outside, they will break you, just as the pressure that comes from the outside when you're trying to break an egg, it will destroy life. But if the pressure is coming from within the egg, you realize that there is a chick that is about to be born. So life comes from within. So the moment you realize that you do not need the opinions of the outside world to determine how you're going to run your life and how you're going to be successful, that's the moment you start realizing a change in your life. Because all that you need for you to be able to achieve your dreams, and all that you need for you to be able to realize your potential, is something that is inside you. You need to know what makes you tick. You need to know what makes you happy. And you need to know what is it that you're so passionate about, that whether you are paid for or you're not paid for, you can just do it anyway and feel fulfilled and feel the happiness and feel that you have actually given value to other people. For me, when I stand in front of the camera and speak, I get this joy and this happiness that cannot be controlled, because I know that any person who's going to get hold of this video and listen up to the end, they are going to be edified. They're going to receive something, an energy that will propel them to pursue their goals. They're going to have this energy to believe in themselves and know that they can do anything as long as they have that belief to say, I am the person who's rightfully for this dream or for this idea. Let me encourage you. Never allow people that are standing in the valley to tell you how you ought to run your life, particularly if you're standing on a hill. Because at least you're standing on a hill, the way you envision things, the way you perceive things is totally different from the way that those who are in the valley perceive things. If you're standing on top of a mountain, the better. The things that you see, your vision is much more broadened and it's much more wider and much more bigger than the vision of someone who's standing in the valley. So why would you want to allow someone with a limited vision to tell you how you're supposed to run your life? A lot of people are actually being instructed on how to run their life by social media. You allow someone who's actually showing something that they are not to determine how you're supposed to run your life. Because let me tell you, the world is slowly becoming a center stage where people are giving you, they are acting, they are giving you an illusion of exactly what is happening in their life. So they give you a picture of the falsehoods of what is not happening in their life, and they pretend as if that's the happiness that they have. And before you know it, you want to dress like them. Before you know it, you want to speak like them. Before you know it, you even want to spread information just the way that they do. It's quite saddening that in this day and age, we are surrounded by people that are negative role modelers. People that are just fascinated in scripting things that will make you laugh, yet they do not have any building content within them. Yes, I understand. I love comedy. I'm a humorous person. But I love humor when it is edifying me. Let me laugh, but let me also get a lesson out of it. But if I laugh and also my morals are being taken away from me, then there is a problem. If I laugh and my identity is slowly being erased, then there is a problem. So I just want to encourage someone that yes, we need to get inspiration from other people. We need to embrace ideas from other people, but let that not be something that defines you. You need to embrace yourself. There is someone who came to me and said, you know what, I love public speaking, but the problem is that I stammer. You know, I just told him and I said, you know what, you need to embrace your uniqueness, because public speaking doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be only eloquent and fluent, but you need to be able to connect to your audience. So if you're able to connect with your audience while stammering, then you are delivering your message well, because at the end of the day, it's what is within the content of your message that matters. If people relate to that and are able to use your message for their benefit, then it's good. So never allow anyone to tell you that you cannot do it. If you want to write that book, never allow anyone to discourage you. Go on, write it. Even if your expression is terrible, write it, improve on it. You will get there because you understand that there is something that is inside that is actually pushing you to do something. As long as it gives you fulfillment and happiness, then it's worth pursuing. Why would you want to shortchange yourself by depriving yourself of happiness? Because you have one life to live. The moment that you are underground, you cannot do all those things. So why would you want to regret having not done certain things when you're now underground? I just hope this message has inspired someone to take action, and I hope it has inspired someone to accept and to embrace their uniqueness. You cannot be limited by disability. You cannot be limited by by a small voice. You cannot be limited by being short or by being too tall. You cannot be limited by your complexion, your color. You cannot be limited by anything, because this that you see outside, like I said, is just a house that is housing the potential that is inside. What you need to do is to embrace what is within and begin to run with it. So I hope this was inspirational enough for you to go and embrace yourself and to begin to love yourself and to begin to prioritize your happiness. For now, have a good day.